All right, hello and welcome. We are back. It has been quite some time since I have uploaded, but I want to get back into the swing of things here. Today, we're going to be doing something completely original, brand new that no one has ever done before. We're going to be doing a tier list of all of the Halo games. Halo is something that is very near and dear to me, as you could see from everything back there behind me. I don't know how to point. I got all the books, all these figures, all this other Halo stuff. Halo is one of my favorite series and franchises of all time. But unfortunately, Halo has not been treated very well by its owners for a while, and we'll see that here in a couple of minutes when we get into some of these later games. But without any further ado, let's go over here and we'll just start doing this. So I've got it broken down by essentially the difficulties, we're not ranking this based off of difficulty. We're going to be ranking it off of like how good I think it is. But I thought that this was a neat way to do it. So Mythic, obviously, those are the best Halo games, the greatest Halo games, the greatest of all time. Legendary, still very good, but a few minor issues here and there maybe. Heroic, middle of the road, decent. Normal, all right, could be better. Easy, fucking bad. Although I will say, as far as like objectively performing, each Halo game is good enough on their own. But as Halo games, well, we'll see when we get to down here what we think of them. All right, first up, we have Halo Combat Evolved. I do have these listed down here in release order. So Halo Combat Evolved all the way down to Halo Campaign Evolved being the most recent one. So Halo Combat Evolved is an easy, obvious Mythic tier. It is one of my favorite games of all time. Everything about it is damn near perfect, especially for the time that it came out. It is the pioneer of console first-person shooters, introducing the two-weapon system, vehicles, all sorts of stuff like that. The enemy design is perfect. Master Chief's design is perfect. The Marines design are perfect. Just everything about this is basically perfect. The first couple of levels, when you're on the ring, you're discovering these weird little things about it to unfold the larger mystery that basically this is a giant super weapon that's supposed to wipe out the Flood, but it actually wipes out the food source of the Flood, which are these parasitic zombie monster things that you get towards the back half of the game. And a lot of people complain that the back half of the game is just rehashing the front half, but I think that it does it well enough going backwards and introduces new enemies and a new enemy variety, and I think that that does a pretty fantastic job of basically keeping it fresh. The level design of everything in this game is fantastic, from the simplicity of the Pillar of Autumn being the first one that you're on, introducing a couple of enemy types, as well as like the Marines and essentially all the characters of the game. You get Johnson, you get Chief, you get Cortana, you get Captain Keyes. There's not really any other characters in this game. You get Foehammer, I guess, but those are the four main people that you interact with throughout the entire game, although at the time Johnson wasn't really a character. He was just a recurring Marine. And then the reveal of the Flood is still one of my favorite cutscenes in video game history. I think that just that found footage horror of it, where Master Chief finds Jenkins' helmet and walks through the whole thing with Keyes and his team leading into the underground storage facility where the Flood is sort of being contained, I guess, and then the outbreak happening and everything and all hell just breaking loose, and then essentially that's the only enemy you fight for the rest of the game. Well, that's not true. You fight the Covenant still. This is the one where you still fight the Flood and the Covenant. It doesn't break off like that, but yeah, Halo 1, fantastic, easy Mythic tier. And then Halo 2, we're going to actually put it right above Halo 1. We're going to put it right above Halo 1. There we go. It does everything that Halo 1 does, but slightly better. It's longer, it's got a more compelling story, it's got more characters in it. It adds Johnson as an actual character instead of just a recurring Marine. You got Miranda Keyes, the daughter of Captain Keyes, who tragically sacrificed himself. Not even really sacrificed himself, he got captured and died in the previous game. You got... Who else you got in this game? You got the Arbiter. You have a whole campaign, essentially, where you're playing as the Arbiter, who is easily one of the most interesting characters in all of Halo. He's an elite warlord who is essentially the main antagonist of Halo 1. You just never see him, but he's the fleet commander of that entire fleet that you're fighting against in Halo 1. So every ground soldier and everyone that you're fighting in Halo 1 is one of the Arbiter soldiers. So that's really cool how you fight him, or you play as him. You never actually fight him. But you play as him, and then you see things from his point of view, how he's disgraced for letting the Halo ring blow up. and it essentially puts him on this path of being the Arbiter, which more or less leads him to discovering that their great journey is a fucking sham, and that the prophets are just essentially out to get everyone killed. I don't know whether they know it or not is irrelevant, but the betrayal of the brutes to basically taking out all these elites and turning the whole fucking the Great Schism. It's all just fantastic. It adds more weapons, it adds dual wielding, it adds the SMG, it gets rid of the assault rifle, and it makes the pistol significantly worse. So I didn't talk about multiplayer for Halo 1, but I'm not really going to talk about multiplayer much for these, I don't think, just because my touchstone for the most part with Halo games is the campaign. That is what I prefer to play. Obviously, Halo multiplayer does stand on its own. I would assume, or if I were to do a tier list of the multiplayer games, it would probably end up a little bit different. Some of these games, like ODST and Anniversary, technically wouldn't be on there because they don't have multiplayer in the traditional sense, but neither did Halo 1. It did introduce, but it perfected LAN parties, I feel like. But Halo 2, it basically introduced Xbox Live, which is online multiplayer for consoles. Everything about Halo 2 is basically Halo 1, but improved, and everything about it is just absolutely fantastic. Alright, next up is Halo 3, which also obviously goes into the Mythic tier, but it's going to go just behind Halo Combat Evolved. It's, I would say, my least favorite of the trilogy, but that definitely does not mean that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, it's another fantastic games. All three of these games, I think this is the perfect video game trilogy. It tells a very solid story through and through from start to end. It only takes place in a couple of months too, which is the crazy thing when you think about it. Like landing on the ring, I think is in September of 2552, and then the end of Halo 3 is November of 2552. So it's a very short story, but it picks up exactly where Halo 2 left off, more or less, where instead of getting onto the key ship, Chief leaves the key ship, he crash lands in Africa, and he runs into Johnson and the Arbiter, who are best friends now, which is awesome. It's the only game where you get to fight with the elites. Well, the first game where you get to fight with the elites as a human, and they're your allies, which I think is really cool. And I think the ending is a perfect send-off to the Master Chief. It's left more or less open, obviously. There's plenty more games down here that take place after it, so it's clear that he doesn't die at the end, but I think for the time, what Bungie's original plan was, I think it was a pretty solid send-off for the Master Chief and a closure of the original trilogy. Multiplayer in this game is obviously fantastic. I have so many memories of playing with friends late after school, all sorts of custom games, and then the armor unlocks being tied to achievements I think is one of the coolest things that hasn't returned in a whole lot of games. I think basically instead of hey, I paid $20 for this armor set, it's hey, I got a fucking overkill in Lone Wolf, so look at this armor that I have, which is the ranked playlist, or I got a killing frenzy on this, so here's this sword. I don't remember exactly what went with what, but I know that to get the Hayabusa katana on the back of your armor for multiplayer was a pretty tough achievement. I'm pretty sure I had that, so I'm only missing 3 achievements in this game, which is kind of fucking annoying, and servers are closed, so that's not possible, but I digress. Halo 3 is the perfect cap-off of the original Halo trilogy. I mean, it just adds more to Halo 2. I don't know if I like I like the Flood more and also less. I like that you can see it infect people. You can actually see the transformation happen in real time, which is something that hasn't returned at all, which is a fucking shame. But I feel like they're a little bit too easy. You can melee them, and it's pretty much just a one-shot, which with a sword or whatever, it's a one-shot in the other games, which is a Halo 2, but because you can't use the sword in Halo Combat Evolved. But I think that could have been a little bit better, but I don't know. I haven't played Halo 3 all the way through in a little while, but it's obviously still a fantastic game. I'm going to put Halo... Oh, shit. We're moving something... Wrong screen. Cool. All right, so I'm going to put Halo Wars. I'll put that in... I'll put it here in the Legendary tier. It's the only RTS that I've ever really played all the way through. And so one of my absolute favorite thing about Halo Wars, I mean, the story's fantastic. I really like Serena. I really like Isabel. I really like... Isabel was Halo Wars too. What the fuck is the scientist's name? Dr. Anders, maybe? I don't remember her name. Whatever. I really like Captain Cutter. I really like John Forge, and I really like Red Team. Jerome, Alice, and Douglas. But my favorite thing about Halo Wars original and 2 actually is the cutscenes. So Blur Studios, they did the cutscenes for these 2 games. They also did like the cinematic cutscenes for the Star Wars The Old Republic MMO. Those are like just absolutely beautiful. I'd say aside from maybe Blizzard's in-house cutscene studio, there's really no one that comes anywhere close to the like quality of their cutscenes. And I feel like the Halo Studios or 343 or Bungie or whoever the fuck is in charge of this definitely should have kept working with them all the way through, because I mean, it would have solved a lot of issues that we're going to talk about here later. But Blur Studios just absolutely phenomenal. And as far as a console RTS goes, it works really well. I don't really care much for strategy games. It's not really my genre, so I don't really have a whole lot to say about this one, but it is quite a bit of fun. I haven't actually played the Definitive Edition, which I think is what this thumbnail's from. So this is just ranking the 360 version. I'm pretty sure they're virtually the same. It's just maybe up-res to be on the Xbox One. So maybe I'll go back and play that soon, but it's still a fantastic RTS, and it's, I mean, pretty highly rated in the community. Halo 3 ODST, I'm going to put just above it. It's not quite in the Mythic tier for me, just because it is a little bit shorter. It's basically just it was originally just a DLC for Halo 3, which Halo hasn't actually done any story expansions, which I also think is a shame. Back in Halo 2 and Halo 3, when they did do DLC packs, it was just maps, which is kind of neat, but I think a story expansion for Halo 3 would have been cool, and it came packaged with a map pack as well, but the story that it does tell is pretty cool. Unfortunately, everything that happens after this, for the most part, does take place in books, which is where this trend sort of starts. So, as you can see on the shelf behind me, there's a shit ton of Halo books. And unfortunately for Halo, a lot of the story, a lot of the most interesting part of the story actually takes place in those books. It is a shooter, I guess, so maybe they don't think people care that much about the story, but whatever. I think Halo 3 ODST is still a fantastic story. I wish that this would get a remaster, because I think if it does get a remaster, it will probably rank a little higher for me, because the atmosphere is great. It's just like, I guess the limitations of the 360, it's like not moody enough, you know, if that makes any sense. Like it could do with like a little more rain and effects. I think that would be pretty cool. But I do like each member of the squad in the game. I haven't actually read the Bad Blood book, or New Blood, whichever one it is. I know I'm behind, which is embarrassing as a Halo fan, but whatever. I plan on getting to them hopefully by the end of the year. I'll try to get through the rest of the Halo books. I'm like halfway through it. Mortal Dictata, which takes place after Halo 4, 3, between Halo 3 and 4, something like that. Yeah. It does add some, I would say, a lot of half measures, if that makes sense. Like it adds like silenced weapons, but it doesn't fully go in with the stealth. I think what would have been cool is if they did lean more into like a Splinter Cell, Metal Gear type stealth game. I think that would have been pretty cool. I mean, you play as an ODST, obviously, instead of a Spartan, but it doesn't feel different enough, in my opinion. Like, the only real difference is I think you're a little weaker, you can't jump as high, and you can't throw grenades as far. I think that's, like, the main, like, gameplay differences. It just feels like slightly nerfed Master Chief, which makes it to where it's a little bit lesser for me, but the story overall is still really good. I liked all the characters, Dutch, Mickey, Romeo, Buck, obviously Nathan Fillion, he's in everything nowadays. Well, he was in everything before, and then this is his intro into the Halo world, and he's been in it more or less ever since. We'll get to that a little bit later as well, but I really do like ODST. It's just not quite as high up there for me. All right, and then next up we have Halo Reach, which goes to the very top of Mythic. Halo Reach is my favorite Halo game of all time. It is probably right behind Halo Combat Evolved, the game that I've played the most. Really the game that I have the most multiplayer hours in. I got to maybe the second highest rank in the Halo Reach multiplayer, and I also have all of the achievements. It is the first Halo game that I got all of the achievements in. I remember spending a lot of time working on these multiplayer achievements, because they kept adding multiplayer achievements with every map pack, so that took quite a while. But yeah, I have all the achievements in this game, but more here to talk about the game overall and the story. So Halo Reach, you are a blank slate, essentially. You are Noble 6, the newest member of Noble Team, and the cool thing about this game is you get to customize your armor in-game. So however you choose to make your multiplayer Spartan look, that is how your in-game or your in-campaign Spartan will look. So you can have all sorts of wacky colors. You can basically make yourself look close to the Master Chief, or you can just choose whatever armor combination you want to make it yours, and I think that is really cool. And the other thing that I really like about this game is the story. It is very similar to Rogue One, where basically each of the party members, the squad members, gets to a certain points where they've done everything that they are supposed to do in the story, and then they fucking die, which is how Rogue One ends. And I think that that's very neat. I think that the whole tragedy of it is very entertaining. It's very fun. As fun as a tragedy can be, right? And then you have a final holdout on Reach after essentially you are the last one left of your squad and the Pillar of Autumn escapes to start the entire saga. And you can go on for essentially ever, and there's people that like to think that Noble 6 is still alive in a cave somewhere, but I think that it was a great send-off to him as well as the Bungie-era Halo games. From the beginning, you know the end, or from the end, you know the beginning, whatever the fucking splash blurb at the bottom of at the start of the game is, opens up with your helmet just like in the ground, which is kind of wild that the game opens up telling you that you're dead, which I guess if you know anything about what you're playing, you would assume so because you're not in anything else at any point in time. But I do have one huge problem with this game, and that is the art design. I think that this is really where the Covenant design starts to go downhill. I don't like that the different elites now just have random strange colors, because in these 3 games specifically, you have blue elites that are miners, red elites that are majors, gold elites that are zealots, white elites that are ultras, black spec ops. Halo 2 adds a couple. You have like these weird mint green rangers and like purple spec ops. And then the grunts do the same thing where they just get all sorts of weird wacky armor designs, and I don't like it at all. And 343 Industries kind of runs with it, and it's just, I think it sucks. I think that's my biggest complaint about Reach, is the Covenant armor design just kind of fucked after it. But overall, I think it is a fantastic story, fantastic video game, and a great conclusion of the Bungie era, which I guess this right here, this is the Bungie era. Bungie didn't put out a bad Halo game. Now we have Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. I'm going to put it down here in the normal tier. It's literally just this game, but with a new coat of paint. And unfortunately, that coat of paint is tainted in doo-doo. The assets are basically is just an asset flip from everything from Halo Reach. So instead of the classic Covenant designs, you have the Halo Reach Covenant designs, which, like I just said, I think are dog shit. And then I think the Master Chief looks fine. And then instead of the like an up-resed or like a new sort of Marine design that sort of fits the same style, it's just the Army Troopers from Halo Reach, which, right, Army Troopers, Marines, 2 different fucking branches. It's just the same thing. And then most of the levels also have, like, they're brighter, shinier, and just not nearly as atmospheric or as moody, I guess. 343 Guilty Spark, the level is obviously the worst fucking offender of it. It just looks like shit. I think it's way too bright. It's way too not dreary. And essentially, it just starts, it's like the first red flag that I don't think 343 really gets Halo. It plays exactly the same as Halo Combat Evolved, though. You have the ability to toggle between the anniversary graphics and the regular graphics, and it came with a couple of maps for Halo Reach, which I think is neat. But overall, it is not the definitive way to play Halo Combat Evolved. If you can play this one, play this one. If you can't play this one, just toggle the graphics, I guess. But we'll get more to that later. Halo 4. I fucking hate this game. I think I hate everything about this game. It is the first introduction where sprint is like a normal thing that you can do, which I do really like, and it kept the assassinations. That's one thing I didn't mention from Halo Reach. It introduced assassinations, which are really fucking cool ways to kill enemies, especially in multiplayer, but whatever. It added sprint as a main thing that you can do, and I think that might be the only thing that I like about this game. So at the end of Halo 3, you are allies with the elites, essentially. At the beginning of Halo 4, the first enemy you encounter is a weird fucking lizard dinosaur looking elite, and it never explains, like, what the fuck happened. You have to read a book. A fucking book. That one right there, actually. To figure out what the fuck happened and why you're no longer allies with the elites. The Arbiter's missing. No idea where the fuck he's at. We don't see him again until here. And the art design for literally everything is fucking terrible. For no reason, so in the end of Halo 3, you're on the Forward Unto Dawn, which is a frigate, whatever, and you go into a cryopod, and then 4 years later, Halo fucking 4, that ship looks different, your armor looks different, everything just inexplicably looks different. It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. I think someone tried to explain it with like nanobots or some shit, but it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Everything about this game sucks. The Prometheans are terrible fucking enemies. The fact that the elites are now enemies again, like the whole pack that you had with the fucking elites and some of the other Covenant, is just gone, seemingly, because it's not fucking explained in the game at any point in time. And fuck, what else do I hate about this game? I think the multiplayer was fine. The level design shit for the most part. It's just like running through different like fucking Forerunner structures, and the back half of the game is just like run down a Forerunner hallway, hit a teleporter to a different Forerunner hallway, and yeah. The Didact was a pretty neat idea for a villain. It's just they don't fucking do anything with him. You stick a goddamn grenade in his chest at the end, and he fucking falls. The Covenant design is terrible. Everything's weird looking. Like, they tried to retcon it in the bonus missions for this to where it's like, oh yeah, these are like fucking experiments or whatever. It's dog shit. Everything about Halo 4 is fucking trash. I hate this fucking game. On the flip side, Halo 2 Anniversary. I don't know why this tier list here has this listed as its own thing. Can you get what I fucking want you? Thank you. But it does. And where everything that I said about Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, the opposite. The art design for Halo 2 Anniversary, I think, is fucking perfect, and they used Blur Studios again for the cutscenes. This is the best that Sergeant Johnson's ever fucking looked, and will ever look again, apparently, because he looks weird as shit in the new one, but we'll get to that later. Everything about Halo 2 Anniversary, it takes whatever Halo 2 did, and it's just shinier. I think that this is the absolute peak Covenant design. The elites are just like, that's like the best that anything has ever looked. I don't understand why the fuck that's not the style that they decided that they wanted to keep with everything else. They could have done Halo 5 with the same fucking style and just not explained it, because they didn't explain it for fucking Halo 4, and I don't think anyone would have complained, because it just looked that much fucking better. I don't know why Halo 2 Anniversary is its own thing when it's part of this. You can't buy it separate, but I mean, it is just Halo 2 again, other than the cutscenes, which are completely redone by Blur Studios. I'm pretty sure it's the same, like, they just take the same dialogue and just, like, remaster it, more or less, and I don't think anything was re-recorded for it. But, yeah, Halo 2 Anniversary is the way to experience Halo 2. Until Halo 2 Remake comes out, we'll see how the fuck that goes. Alright. Halo Master Chief Collection. I'll put it here. I mean, it is these 3 games and this game. All the multiplayer, it actually added these 2 games as well, with DLC after a couple of years each. I think this was like added as an apology, because when it came out, it was dog shit. Not that it was bad, it was the same. It was the old games just in one collection. It just didn't fucking work. And it's still kind of buggy. I played through Halo 4 on Legendary again yesterday just to fucking re-experience and get that shit out of the way. I finished the game at like I think midnight, and I saw on my phone this morning that the achievements didn't pop until almost 2 a.m. So buggy as shit still, but whatever. I mean, it's all of Halo, the first 5-6 games, just in one disc, one place, so you can play whatever. They got cross game playlists. You got playlists for Lasso, all the different difficulties. If you just want to play the vehicle levels, I mean, it's just down here though because Halo 4's in it. And Halo 4's dog shit. It also was in a completely unplayable state at launch, but it's the only way that you can play any of these games on PC. I think without like fucking pirating or modding. That's completely false. I mean, you can play Halo Wars on PC, you can play whatever, but I mean like the main Master Chief Saga. That's the only way to play those games on PC. Halo Wars 2. I never finished this game, actually. I'll put it there in the middle. What I did play, it was just more Halo Wars. There's significantly less cutscenes, which at the time I think is what turned me off, because like I said, I don't really care for RTSs all that much. But it introduces Escharum, it introduces Atriox. Escharum's not introduced until Infinite. It introduces Atriox, which is pretty cool, and the Banished as a faction, which is kind of neat. It's like a bunch of rejects from the Covenant, different brutes, as well as some humans, which they're not treated very well, obviously, because the Covenant races still don't like the humans. But I mean, it's another RTS. If you played one, you played them all, I guess. I don't know. I don't really play RTSs. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this one. Halo 5. This one's a tough one, actually. I'll put it right above Halo Wars 2. That's probably a controversial take, because I don't think people are too big on Halo 5. I think Halo 5 would have been a much better game if it was a side game. So, because you barely play as the Master Chief, I think I don't remember how many missions, there's like 10 to 12, which is pretty standard for a Halo game. I think of that, you play as the Master Chief for less than half of it, which is a problem for a Master Chief game. But I do really like Fireteam Osiris, and I like their story. I like Vale, I like Tanaka, and obviously, so Buck from ODST, he returns in Halo 5 as one of the members of Fireteam Osiris. It's also the first introduction to Blue Team in a game. Fred, Kelly, Linda, and Master Chief. It's the first introduction of all four of them working together in a game. So, So if you didn't play, or if you didn't read the books or watch any of like the side shit, you'd have no idea who the fuck those people are. They're just there. That's the biggest problem with Halo storytelling overall, is like, there's such a bigger story than this right here. Obviously. So many fucking books back there. There's like 30 of them, I think. But I think that the gameplay is great. I've already harped on the fucking 343 art style enough, so that's why it's not down here. At this point, you're kind of used to it. The Spartan 4 art style, I actually like the Spartan 4 design. I like how they're kind of bulkier and weird, and they're like mass-produced, just armor for basically anyone could become a Spartan 4 more or less, as opposed to a Spartan 2, which you were taking a birth, and a Spartan 3. I think they just took like orphans or some shit for Spartan 3s, because there's like, fuck them, these kids are going to go out and die anyway, whatever. But Halo 5 is really weird. So the marketing made it seem like Master Chief was like some sort of traitor to humanity, and like Locke was hunting him down to like execute him or something. But it's like they finally meet up and it's like, yo, we just want to talk, and then they have like the worst fucking scripted hand-to-hand fight ever, and then Blue Team just goes through a portal, and I think that's it until the end, where it's everyone just kind of works together. So Cortana is actually the main villain. I glanced over a lot of story shit, so AI has only lived for 7 years or whatever the fuck, because Bungie loved the number 7, and then she was commissioned, and then by the time Halo 4 rolls around, it's been like 7 years, and Logic Plague and all the time with the Gravemind at the end of Halo 2. She's going fucking cuckoo banana nuts. And at the end of Halo 4, she essentially sacrifices herself so Chief can escape after killing the Didact, yada, yada, yada. And then she pops back up in Halo 5 as the fucking villain, which I think that's also explained in a book. I don't remember. I haven't read that far. But yeah, I think she's just fucking, she pops up as the villain. She's got the fucking Forerunner Prometheans on her side, and the Warden Eternal, which is a boss fight you fight like 7 fucking times. It's shit. I don't know why I put this game so high. No, I really like Blue Team, and I really like Fireteam Osiris, and the fact that the gameplay is actually really good in Halo 5. I like the way it feels. I haven't played it in a while. It's not on the Master Chief Collection. The only way to play it is the fucking Xbox One version. It's never been moved anywhere else. It's not on PC. It's kind of like Metal Gear Solid was. Metal Gear Solid 4 was for PS3 for the longest time. It was just like stuck in one spot and inaccessible. Maybe one day it'll come to PC. Maybe they'll remake it. I don't know. But I do really like the gameplay, and I really like the characters in it. And the Arbiter finally returns as well. And one of the coolest moments is on Sunayon, which is a city on their home planet, Sanghelios. You fighting like the bad covenant with like the covenant that did stay allied with humanity. So there's a lot of story shit that's just not explained, and if you only play like the numbered Halo games, you'll be very fucking confused if you're trying to pay attention to it. But I digress. I still think it's a fine enough game. It's not nearly as bad as this fucking stinker down here. Warden Eternal sucks to fight, but the rest of it's decent enough. Yeah, that's about it. Halo Infinite. Why do I put Halo Infinite? I'll put it above Halo 5. As you can see clearly, they finally came to their senses and fixed the fucking Master Chief's armor, again without explaining it. But it's finally back to what it's supposed to fucking look like. Just pretend that these two don't exist. I'm fine with Spartan Locke looking like that. I'm fine with the Spartan 4s looking like that. Hell, I'm even fine with the rest of Blue Team looking like that. You never see their fucking armor before. But you're telling me we get fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fucking versions of Spartan 2s, and they all look fucking the same, and then we get this shit and it looks like this. Whatever. Fuck Halo 4. Anyways, Halo Infinite, again, actually, let's go back to Halo 5 for a second. The ending of Halo 5 has nothing to do with the start of Halo Infinite, which this is the direct sequel, more or less. Everything that happens after Halo 5 takes place in a fucking book. Everything that takes place before Halo Infinite takes place in a fucking book. And so far, everything that takes place after Halo Infinite takes place in a fucking book. So if you want to experience Halo, you have to learn how to read. So it starts off with the Infinity, which is the fucking big... I like the Infinity, and I like Lasky too, and the Mammoth. There's like 5 things that I like from Halo 4. It's still staying down here, though. The Infinity is under attack from the fucking Banished, which are the guys from this game. No explanation of how the fuck they got there. Oh, the Flood shows up in this game, too. That's cool. But yeah, we don't see the Flood again since fucking Halo 3, so we thought we destroyed them when we blew up the Gravemind and shit in High Charity in Halo 3. Maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. And then there's a proto-Gravemind and shit in Halo Wars 2. I'm not here to do a lore history for you. Watch Hidden Xperia for that if you want that. But I'm going off on a tangent. I lost where I was. Halo 5 ends with basically the Created, which is Cortana's like legion of AI constructs and shit that are just like evil and fuck and just going and just like trying to become their own sort of thing, their own faction. And the Prometheans, Warden Eternal, and the Guardians. Yeah, I can't forget the Guardians, giant fucking metal eagle things. I need to replay Halo 5. I don't remember anything that happens in this fucking game. But whatever. And then Halo Infinite starts off with the Infinity, which is the big shit from Halo 5 and Halo Wars, or Halo 4, getting attacked by the Banished, and Atriox, the main villain from Halo Wars 2, beating the absolute piss out of Master Chief and then throwing him out of a fucking window. And there's like a 6-month time jump where he's just floating in fucking space. And no idea what the fuck is going on. I'm pretty sure that's when the Rubicon Protocol takes place. Those fucking books over there. I have read that one, so I skipped a bunch. But that's basically a prequel to Halo Infinite. And then you pick back up, and I really like the Master Chief in this game. He's probably the most talky he is, but I think it's good as opposed to something else that we'll talk to about later. But it's fucking spoilers. This is the last one. But overall, I do enjoy Halo Infinite quite a bit. The biggest detractor is there is no fucking diversity in the level design. It's an open world, which I think was a huge mistake. And there's no fucking diversity, so it takes place either in some sort of Forerunner architecture or the fucking woods, the Pacific Northwest forest like shit from Halo, the level Halo in the first game. And that's it. It does have decent enough enemy design. They're closer to Halo Anniversary or Halo 2 Anniversary than they are this dog shit. So like they just it was sort of a soft reboot for the series, but still sequential. I don't know. It's a whole mess. The gameplay is really good though. I like the grapple shot quite a bit. I like that you go through and you find like these different experimental sort of like armor enhancements through different Spartans that if you read the Rubicon Protocol, you'll hear about them. You just find out where they died. I like the Covenant. I like the Banished. I like them quite a bit. And I like a lot of their designs. I really like Jaga or Dumni. He's cool. If you want more about him, you have to read a fucking book. So maybe I'll do a tier list for all the Halo books because there's more story of those once I finish reading those. But yeah, I think it is probably the most middle of the road Halo game, which is why it's going to be at the top of the middle of the road. I need to go back at some point and do all of the co-op stuff because that got added. I could send this entire video actually bashing fucking Halo Studios 343 because they did say there was going to be couch co-op or split screen co-op. That never fucking happened, and it took a while for co-op in general to be added to the game. What a mess of a studio. All right, Halo Campaign Evolved. Fuck, where do I put you? Oh boy, do I have thoughts on you. I actually have a review written for this that I need to record and do stuff for. So that should be out here sometime in a little bit. But let's see. Do I like you more than Infinite? Do I like you more than ODST? I like you more than Infinite, less than ODST. So you'll be right here. So this is like what? 100% to 90. And this would be 89 to 80. So this is a 79. This would be an 80. I think right here is probably perfect for it. On the one hand, it is a very faithful recreation of Halo Combat Evolved. It is exactly how I felt like the game looked and played when I played it as a kid, which is a feat in itself. I think that the design for most of it is really good. I have all the achievements in this game too. Not relevant, but I do. I think that overall they did a fantastic job of capturing the gameplay, the weapon mechanics, all that stuff. The dialogue and the cutscenes are terrible. The more I think about it, the more I hate it. I also don't. I know it's a new voice actor, and I think a lot of it is down just to the direction that he was given. But a lot of Sergeant Johnson's lines are fucking awful. The cutscene direction is fucking terrible. Like there's so many just weird, jarring things, and it was done by a different studio than the people that did the gameplay. They should have gotten Blur back for this. Like if you're gonna have pre-rendered cutscenes, they look good. Don't get me wrong, they look pretty. But they are fucking, like, the direction for a lot of them is terrible. So, for example, the level Keys, the second to last mission, you end the level by getting into a Banshee and flying off of the fucking flood-infested Truth and Reconciliation. In my game, I was on, like, the second floor of the hangar. I jumped off into a Banshee, and level ended. Jumps to the cutscene, and you're on the opposite side of the hangar. The Banshee's already on the ground. You're getting shot at by elites that they don't fucking damage you, and then you fly off. It's just a lot of the cutscenes have really jarring transitions like that. There's one where like Johnson's giving a speech at the beginning, and it's just like kind of he's sitting there fucking talking, and the Marines are shooting into a escape or a boarding craft, and just like for a comically long time, and then. I think a part of the reason why it's so low, I could have maybe put it here, because I do really like the campaign evolved part, or the combat evolved part. The bonus missions are very okay. It did bring back space combat, which I don't think was in anything except Halo 4, kind of, sort of, not really space combat. It was more of a linear thing. And then Halo Reach, obviously. But a lot of people, and this is weirdos on Twitter that are just fucking weird-ass virgin incels, don't like the Williams character. I didn't have any problem with her. She didn't like Spartans. She thought they were like propaganda or like overhyped or whatever. And then there was history with like Master Chief beating the absolute shit out of, or I guess John at the time, beating the shit out of some ODSTs very early. And that probably got around. So Williams, ODST, yada, yada, yada. They're on a Covenant weird ass experimental ship. The lore stuff in the bonus missions is neat. It did try to explain why these fuckers were so goddamn ugly, the Covenant, but I think that's cheap. Just own that you don't know how to fucking do art design and redo Halo 4. Just fucking pretend this game doesn't exist. It's not like it fucking matters because it doesn't carry into Halo 5 at all whatsoever. You could literally just redo this entire fucking game and honestly redo this game too. And then they could tie in Infinite better because at least it looks the fucking same. Anyway, back to Halo Campaign Evolved. Yeah, this is a good place for it. It is good. It's not great. It is a good way to experience Halo Campaign Evolved for the first time. I think the modern mechanics will definitely be more appealing to a newer audience. The sprinting, stuff like that. I think it just feels better overall to play nowadays. Obviously, these games have a huge nostalgic place in my heart, but this one specifically just doesn't feel good to play. The assault rifle sucks. I don't even know if I touched on that, but yeah, here it is. Here is my definitive Halo tier list of all, what is this, 1, fucking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Halo games? I think I counted that right. That is my tier list of all of the Halo games. Like I said, I do have a review coming for this guy. I've got a couple other things in the pipeline. Trying to get back into this whole thing. Just took a couple months off just because I was fucking fried at work. But I'm getting back into the swing of it. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that other fun YouTube jazz. And if you disagree with me, let me know, because you probably will. But this is obviously objective. There are no other rooms for opinions, and this is the definitive Halo video game tier list. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.